When is the wedding? I think I want the wedding to be like this month and then this year. Yeah. That sounds right. What do you think, Marissa? Alright, it's puzzles. Okay. See if I can get a 25 bomb. I'm gonna go slow this time and warm up. So it looks like check, pawn has to take, and then mate. Okay. I'm going really slow and instructive. Check here. The rook has to block because the bishop's guarding these squares. And then I take the rook with mate. White to move. Take this. Bishop has to block and then just take it. And that's mate. Black to move. We're going to check. The king has to step either away from the rook, and then we'll grab it. Or if he steps here to guard it. Sorry, he can't step there. If he steps here to guard it, then I'll check him here, and then pick it up with the rook. Like this, yep. Black to move. It's just check here. King has to come here. And then it's mate here. It's the... Oh, no, sorry. The king comes back. This is unclear. Wait. Why didn't it have me follow up? So just check. And then no matter where the king goes, I'm going to take this. And I'm winning that. It's trapped. Yeah. Yeah. This is just check. And then the bishop's guarding these squares. And the rook has to block. And then I take it with mate. I'm just winning a piece. If the queen captures, I recapture with my rook. Okay, if he blocks, I could just take the queen. And then take that backward. Okay. Black to move. It looks like I could take this with check. Just to clear the square from my queen to checkmate on h2. Yeah. Black to move. That looks really good. Because it's pinned. Yeah. And I can actually take this. Yeah. It's going to be check here. King has to go here. And then the pawn pushes with check. And the king is trapped, so it's mate. Because the queen's guarding these. Yeah. White to move. Okay. Check. And then after that, and then I check here and I win the rook. Black to move. I'm out of time. Alright, now I'm going to do a speed run. Where I explain a little less. Yeah, bro, maybe. I don't know. I'm just throwing dates around. Alright, this is mate in 1. Black to move is going to be mate in 1. White to move is going to be mate in 1. Black to move, check, and then win the rook. White to move is going to be take that way, and then take this at that. Okay. White to move is going to be mate here. White to move, check, and then mate. Black to move, check, and then fork the king and queen, so the rook has to trade off. Okay, why isn't it check there and then pin the rook? Okay. It's just mate here instantly. White to move. Pin the queen to the king because my knight was defending backward. Cool. Check here, king up, and then this is threatening mate. Black to move. We have this check. Is it useful? Don't think so. Oh, I have this check, and then I win the bishop. And then I'm in check. I can move over. Okay. White to move. I could scoop that up. I could also take this rook in the corner, make a queen. My queen can block the check. Cool. White to move. Just Oh, I had mate on h7. Duh. Alright, after that exchange. Is the queen trapped? I can't attack her. Yeah, I can. Double attack. Yeah. Take the rook, because then my rook can recapture. Okay. What do we have here? Oh, sack the rook for a mate. That was cool. That was double check at the end. He couldn't take either one. I'm taking this. Not taking that. The queen is trapped. The queen's trapped. Queen's trapped. White to move. Sack the queen for a mate. Yeah, the rook can mate here with the bishop defending. Black to move. I could sack here and then check here as mate. Black to move. This check? No. Oh, that was my last attempt. I didn't realize I had two already. What is this one? Ah, okay. It's this check. And then pawn blocks. And then take that. Wow, is it really that many moves? That's weird. Alright, white to move. Anything just hanging? Yeah. Black to move is just made instantly. Black to move is this. White to move is just check, take, and then mate. White to move is check here, take, block mate. White to move is just take this. No, I'm not taking the rook there. I had something better, that means. Don't see it yet. I didn't see that right away, so I guessed. White to move. And then pick up this rook. Yeah. White to move. Just check, and then take, and then... Okay, mate was coming. It's just mate instantly. White to move. We have... Take that, and then I could take this. I could sack for a mate there. Black to move. Do I run the pawn? Is that too long term? Wow, I do run the pawn. That's crazy. Black to move. Cool. White to move. Check here, king there. And then this check? No. Yeah, the king had to step away from the queen eventually. Okay. Black to move. Check and then take the queen. Oh, I had to take the other rook first, then take the queen because his rook's looking at my queen. Okay. The king and rook checkmate. Can you show us the king and rook checkmate? Oh yeah, I'll show that. I think I showed you in person once, right? Yeah. So this is how I'll show the way that I do it in Bullet. The king and rook checkmate. Set up, clear the board. So this is the way I recommend doing it in Bullet. Because it's the quickest. And you don't have to think much. And when you're moving quickly, there's no risk of your rook being taken. So this is the technique. It's the idea, this is the key idea, is that if you get this position, this is the key position, where your rook is checking, so the enemy king can't go to these squares because it's in the same row as the rook. And when your king is directly in front of their king, like this, then your king is guarding these squares. So these are all off limit. So when your king's here and your rook's here, right, the only squares this king has to go to are these. So he has to back up to the next row. So once you get this position, you're able to check and the king has to back up. That's the key idea. So what you do is, let's say this is the starting position, just putting the pieces randomly somewhere. Your first move would be to move your rook as far as you can down the board to cut off the next row from the king. So in this case, it'd be here. So now the black king moves somewhere, and now you try to get your king over to him. And then once you achieve this position, like I said before, where your king is in front of his king, and your rook is cutting off the next row, then you're able to check, and the king has to back up somewhere. Because like I said, none of these squares are available. So the king backs up somewhere, and now your rook's cutting off the next row, and now you use your king again. And you want the opponent's king to step in front of your king. Because like I said, once this is achieved, you can check. Your rook is stopping these squares, and your king is stopping these squares. So he has to back up. That's the key idea. You keep stepping him back toward the edge. Because ultimately, you're going to achieve this, where you check him on the back row, and he has no squares to back up to, and it's just mate. And what's beautiful about it is your rook can stay so far away and still checkmate. Your rook's all the way out here. So just to make sure we understand the technique, if it's your move in this position, you don't step in front of him, because then it would be his move and he could step away from you. So in positions like this, you just move your rook somewhere over, because you want him to step in front of you. So you're saying, go ahead, please step in front of me. So if he ever approaches your rook to attack it, then you simply swing your rook on the other side of the board. And now the only way for him to ever go attack your rook again would be to march toward it, but he has to step in front of your king at some point, where you're going to have this check from this side. So let's say he steps this way, you chase him with your king. He tries to run this way, you chase him with your king. Finally, he has no option, he has to cut back. Now, you don't step here because then he steps away from you. So in this position, you just move your rook over, and you're just waiting for him to step in front of you. So you say, no, go ahead, I insist, step in front of me. And if he says, no, I don't want to step in front of you, now you chase him, and now his only option is to step in front of you, at which point you could check, and you'll be able to back him up. Or he could back up on his own at any time he wants, but then you're just going to move your rook and take away the next row for free. So he has to either give you the row, or step in front of you, and you could check and take the row. So here we go. We're in this position. We step here. Don't step in front of him because then he steps away. So we step here and we hope he steps in front of us. And if he does immediately, then great. We just back him up again. But if he doesn't step in front of us, if he steps away, once again we chase him. And now he has to step in front of us or give us another row. Steps in front, we check, and he backs up. We step here, hoping he steps in front of us. He chases the rook. We chase him, hoping he steps in front. He chases the rook, because he's trying to play the best that he can. Finally, he gets to where he's attacking the rook. And now we don't want to blunder. Oh, we don't want to blunder and move our king, because then he'll take the rook, and it's a draw. So when he gets to where he's attacking the rook, we just swing it across the board. And now, once again, the only way for him to go attack the rook again would be to step in front of our king at some point. So now it's his move. Let's say he tries to keep running. We keep chasing. He runs. We chase. He has to cut back. It's his only move. We don't step in front of him, like I said before, because then he'll run away. So we just wait. Move the rook over one square. Nothing changes about the position. We just move the rook over. We're still guarding the whole row. So now he either steps in front of us and gets checkmated immediately, or he steps away, but then we step here, and now your only legal move is to step in front, and then finally I mate you. So just to go over it quickly, if the starting position is something like this, our first move is to cut off the furthest row we can, and then the king starts moving. He steps in front of us, we check, and he backs up. He's attacking our rook, we swing it over. He steps here, we step here. He steps in front, we check, he has to back up. We step here, he steps here, we chase him. We're chasing. Finally, he steps in front, we check, he backs up. We step here, he steps here. He's going to attack our rook. He attacks it, we swing it over. He steps here. We don't step in front because then he can step away, we just wait. He doesn't step in front because he doesn't want to lose. He steps away, we chase, he steps away, we chase, he steps in front, finally we mate. So it's just a matter of getting his king to step in front of yours, and then delivering that check with the rook where he has to back up. And then finally, when you have him against the ropes, against the back wall, he has no squares to back up to. This is just checkmate. All these squares are covered. So that's the idea with the king and rook. It's a similar idea with the queen, but it's a little easier. The queen is cool because you never have to use your king until the end. So here's the idea, is that, let's say this is the starting position. The first thing we do is we move our queen to make a box around the king. The queen's always going to form this box that the king can never escape. And the king also can't approach the queen, because the queen guards the square. Remember, a lone king can never approach a queen. So the idea is, if I let black move 30 times in a row, all he could do is move his king around this box. He can't ever leave this box. He can never cross this or this. So the idea is I keep shrinking that box. So if it's black's move, notice how I'm guarding these squares. I'm guarding that square from him. So he can't go to any of those. So he has to move to one of these squares. He actually can't move to this one because I covered the diagonal. So black can move to any of these squares. I want them to be green. So the black king has to move to one of those squares. If he moves to one of these, then I'm going to move my queen over and take a row. So he either has to give me, a column. He has to give me a column or a row. So if he moves up like this, I could take a column and a row and shrink his box. If he moves sideways, I can come this way and I shrunk his box by a column. And if he jets up here, I can go this way and I took away another row. So the idea is that the king moves, I take away a row or a column. King moves, take away a column. King moves, take away a column. King moves, take away a row. King moves that way, that's the worst for him. I'll take away a column and a row all at once. King moves here, I take away a row. And I keep shrinking the box that he's in. Now at this point, his only option is to move. I'm covering this square, right, diagonally. His only option is to move toward the corner. So I shrink his box again, take away a row. Moves toward the corner, and then this is the critical position where I don't approach him again because it's stalemate. He has no move. It's a draw. I'm guarding everything. So I actually, after this, after he moves here, I stop moving my queen because the only squares available to the king are this square and this square. I'm guarding all these. So he has to just shuffle back and forth between these two squares forever. So as he's doing that, because it's his only moves, I move my king over to help. And once my king gets close enough, I can just checkmate right on top of him with the king defending me. Doesn't matter if my king is here, here, or here, as long as it's guarding the queen. And it doesn't matter if his king is here or here. The queen here is mate. So as long as my king is somewhere guarding the queen, and he's here or here, it's mate. I deliver checkmate. But I don't deliver that checkmate until my king is close enough where the queen is defended by the king. So that's the rapid, I'll just show it quickly now. That's the rapid queen and king checkmate. Would be, I move something like that. He keeps moving. I keep taking away a row or column. Oops, sorry. He either gives me a row or a column. And then finally, we're in the corner. And it doesn't matter if we're on, it doesn't matter which side we're on. We could be on this side. He still has to either give me a row or column. Oh. Now I just switched the pieces. So the idea is I'm always able to take a row or column every time he moves. Finally, he's along the side of the board. He has to move up. And then we get to this position where I'm guarding all these squares. And he has to shuffle back and forth between these two. And my king is going to march over and deliver checkmate. It's going to help the queen. So I move my king. He shuffles. He shuffles. Doesn't matter how my king gets there. Just start moving it toward it. And then once I'm here, it's just... Why do I keep doing that? It's just mate like that. So you just shrink the box and then you deliver checkmate. That's the quickest way to do it, or rather the safest and foolproof sort of way to do it when you're playing like bullet chess. All right, back to puzzles. All right, black to move. Just take the queen. White to move is checkmate. White to move is mate here. White to move is check, and then I queen. Okay, and then we trade the queens off. I can take this pawn, and then I can queen my pawn. Black to move, I can deliver checkmate there on f2. White to move. It's this check, and then mate. White to move, I can run the pawn, it looks like. And then get in front of it, yeah. Black to move, I can just deliver checkmate immediately. Black to move, I can pin the queen because my knight's backward defending. Black to move, I can go check and then fork, yeah. White to move, I can go check, take this, check, take that, and then take the knight. Black to move, I could just scoop the rook up. No, why couldn't I just scoop the rook there? I must have had a mate. White to move, there's a bunch of queens on the board. That and then that, yeah. Black to move. This check. And then this is the dovetail mate. Oh, I'm pinned. Wow, okay, cool. White to move. Capture this. I don't see why it's useful. I'm gonna have to take a guess. Yeah, I didn't see it. Black to move. We could take the knight. And then we can check to save our knight and then take the queen. Yeah. Ah, you're welcome, babe. Black to move. Take that. And then take this, yeah. Order of capture. Step away from the rook. Pawns are fast. Why can't I play that? I'm pinned. Okay. Like a... What? Ah, that was mate. This allows this. Okay. Black to move. We can just take that and then checkmate here. White to move. In check. Just move up. Yeah. White to move. Take, and then mate. Black to move. Take that and then mate here. White to move. I can take this and then queen my pawn. Black to move. We can take... We can't take that. We got to check there and then trade off. The queen was backward defending. Black to move. We have check and then take this. We have check and then mate. White to move. We have... why can't I just take this? I can. Black to move. We take that and then this. Black to move. We have... Can I attack the rook and then fork there? Yeah. Black to move. Just checkmate immediately. Black to move. We have check and then mate. White to move. We have check. King steps up. What was that one? Okay, take the knight and then fork and take the rook. White to move. We have... Take his knight, because I can take his queen, and then his bishop, yeah. Black to move. I could check him here, and then pin his queen to his king, yeah. Black to move. We have... Take that. Then this, then that. White to move. I could trade this stuff off and then take the bishop at the end of it. Black to move. Wow. Beautiful. White to move. Check and then take the rook. Yeah. Play on. Okay, push the pawn. White to move. Huh. Huh. have something here. Where is it? I have something. Wow, this is bothering me. Because there's something here. That just fails. Why am I blind to this puzzle? It's not that either. That was weird. Black to move. Oh, I can win something here, right? If I play like... No. Those last two were bad. I was at 20 pretty early, huh? I probably could have got my 25 there. It's a shame. Alright. White to move. Just checkmate here. Black to move. Mate here. Black to move. Queen was hanging. It's funny when the puzzles are so easy that you just overlook the obvious move. That's just mate. White to move. It's just mate here. White to move is check there. What? That shouldn't have been a 274 puzzle. White to move. Just take the rook and then mate with the rook, yeah. Black to move. Check here and then take. White to move. Am I pinning the bishop? That's so goofy. Like this, that's not 408. Bishop f1. These puzzles are harder than they should be. For how early they are. I'm pinned. Took me too long to see that. Black to move. I could sack that and then check here. Black to move. That's just mate. What? I wasn't even check. What am I looking at? I had queen f3 mate. I had queen f3 leading to mate. Nice use of the emoticons, babe. Let's check and then mate. I'm in check. Wow. Take the rook. Black to move. Check and then win the queen. White to move. Just take, and then mate. Black to move. Just fork immediately. Okay. That's just mate. White to move. Check and then take the rook. Then take the bish. Black to move. Just fork? There's no mate, right? Yeah. Mate to come. Black to move. Like that one. I could take that and then this. Black to move. Check and take the bish. Or is there a mate? There was no mate. Black to move. Oh, there's a fork somewhere right there. Okay, and take that. White to move. I could check here and then do this. And then that. White to move. Tim winning the rook there, okay. It's check, and then it's check. Cool. White to move. Huh. Oh, just fork immediately, yeah. Black to move. Take this, and then take that, and then that. Black to move. What? That wasn't mate? Black to move. Can I pin? Yeah. White to move. That was just a defense tactic. Black to move. That was strong. That was cool. Black to move. Oh, I could do this and I could fork. And then stop the pawn from queening. It makes a bishop. It's so funny. White to move. White to move. Check and it wasn't check and then pick up the bishop. Bishop was defended, but what other check did I have? No, I guessed. Oh wow, I was at 22. Oh my god, I was on track for the wreck too. I'm not keeping an eye on my score. Okay, I could just mate here. Black to move. I can go check and then take his mate. I can go check and then mate. White to move. I can go just take that as mate. Black to move. I can play this and then this is mate. Black to move. That and then fork. White to move. Just take that. Black to move. Check. And then take this, because then I can take the queen. Yeah. Black to move. We have just a fork. And then pick up the bishop at the end. White to move. We have this check. And then... where's the follow-up check? Bizarre. Not looking at all my pieces. Black to move, check, check, and then mate. Black to move, check because the pawn was pinned, and then win the queen. Take that, and then take the rook in the corner. I have a sniper. I had a sniper in the corner. Black to move. This looks good. White to move. What? Oh, okay. White to move. This just threatens mate. White to move. That, and then that. And then that. The old 1, 2, 3. The old 1, 2, 3. Take and then fork and win it back. Black to move. What? And then I'm taking the rook. Didn't work. In check. That has to take. I guess that, because then I can take this. Okay. White to move. Just fork. The bishop's pinned. Black to move. Wow, 22. Only had one wrong, too. I mean, I could went a little faster. It's a pretty good score. The old 1, 2, 3. White to move. I'm just taking that. Okay. White to move. Check and then mate. White to move. What? Just take that. Okay. White to move. Take everything. Take everything. Black to move. Checkmate. The rook was there. Checkmate. Black to move. Check and then pick up the rook. And then stop the pawn that way. Whoo. Black to move. I can check and then pick up the queen. White to move. I could just mate immediately. Black to move. That's just mate. The bishop's guard in the other squares. I can play smother mate immediately. Check king there. And then check. Take and then pick up the bishop. Black to move. Just fork immediately and then take the rook and then take the knight. Okay, cool. Black to move. I can check and then pick up the bishop. Black to move. I could play take this. Doesn't work. I could threaten checkmate in that manner. Yeah, force the queen off. Okay, black to move. I have this hits the rook in the corner. Nah, it's too slow. White to move. It wasn't queen the pawn. White to move. Check, sack, and then mate. And then take. Okay, it's mate now. In check. Block with the knight? No. I was on a fucking roll at the start of that. I was at like 15 or 14 in like 50 seconds. That might have been my fastest start ever. I should have slowed down. White to move. Come here and then take and queen the pawn. White to move is mate. Black to move is just mate here. That's just mate. White to move is just mouse slip. Take with the queen. Alright, let's go. Black to move is just mate immediately. Black to move is just check and then mate. White to move is just take this because I can take that. White to move is going to be check here is mate. Black to move is mate here. Black to move is come take this pawn and then queen that pawn. Black to move is just check and then mate. Black to move is going to be check here, then here. Okay, that was mate actually. White to move is check and then pick the rook up. Black to move is going to be checkmate. Black to move is going to be check here. Something blocks, Cool. Pin the queen to the king and then take it. White to move is just going to be push the pawn. Cool, threaten the queen. I could check here, king there, and then I'm checking here. And then I'm checking... I'm taking the queen. That's what I'm doing. I'm taking the fucking queen. Take that and take the rook. Okay. Threaten the queen here. And then pick up the bishop. Black to move. I could play... Check, queen takes, take here, and then fork. Wow. That was like all intuition that solved that one. Missing something. Is the queen trapped? Oh man, fuck. Wow, I gotta just guess something. I don't want to waste too much time on that one. I could take that and then queen my pawn first. Yeah. Black to move. Push this, threaten the queen? No, really. Black to move. I could play check, sack, then queen there and queen up is mate. White to move. Check here, king there, then check here so it's guarded. Then check here, then take the rook. White to move. Too much time. Too much time. Oh, I didn't have to guess. That was my third wrong. I should have slowed down. Oh, I'm blind. I think it was just this. Yeah, if pawn blocks, I win the bish. And if king moves here, it's just mate in the corner. I always see it right after I lose. It's a shame. Alright, let's go. White to move. Check, and then mate. Not mate, but... take that. Black to move. Checkmate. Black to move. Checkmate. Black to move. Check, and then mate. White to move. It's mate here. White to move is check there to deflect, and then take the queen. Black to move is just fork the king and queen immediately. Black to move is... I like that idea, though. White to move. Check and pick up the bishop. Black to move. Check, king there. And then check here. And then check there is mate. White to move. White to move. Huh. Okay. The old 1, 2, 3. White to move. It's gonna be check here. Black to move is gonna be what was that one? That like why if it's not white to move. It's gonna be take that because I can take that. Okay. White to move. Push the pawn, he can't stop it. Black to move. Checkmate here. White to move. Checkmate there. White to move. Check. Black to move is going to be take this and then fork here and then take the rook in the corner. Black to move is going to be damn. Lost too much time on that. Now I have to just take my time and get it right and then quit. So it was the hanging queen. That's my problem. I'm looking at all of these other checks and other weird shit, and it's just that. The second I give up, I find it right away. White to move. Check and then mate. Black to move. Check and then mate. Black to move. Check and then mate. White to move. Check here is mate. White to move is take this, then that. White to move is mate here. White to move is swing the queen this way and then take the rook. Black to move is just mate immediately. White to move is just, oh, it's pinned now. So it's take this because that was pinned, then pick up this, yeah. Black to move is just check, check, and then mate. White to move is just take the rook, then that blocks, finally it's mate. Black to move is just gonna be this check, and then that. What mate did I have? Oh, I had the rook move. Fuck. That was another speed run. I had a lot of speed in the beginning there. Black to move is just fork and take. White to move is just take, take, and then that's mate. This is leading to mate. White to move is just check here, rook blocks, and then mate. Black to move is just going to be check is mate. White to move is going to be queen, king, fork. Okay. Black to move is just looking at the wrong side of the board. Alright. White to move is just take this queen. White to move is just move out of check. Okay. Black to move is check and then mate. White to move is checkmate here. Black to move is check and then mate. White to move is checkmate. White to move is check and then fork. White to move is just mate here, the swallowtail mate. White to move is check, queen blocks, and then mate. White to move is just going to be swing the queen here, and then take with the knight. And then discover check. Check, and then mate. White to move. Looks like it's going to be this check, picks up the bishop. White to move is going to be check here, and then check there, because the bishop's pinned now. That was mate. Black to move. I want to just... Oh, I could push this, and then I'm threatening mate, then take that. Cool. Black to move is going to be... I can't check there. I could check there. I thought the bishop was guarding that. Yeah, okay. I missed it. His bishop was blocked by his pawn on my peripheral. Check, check. I could check here, then pick up the rook. White to move is going to be... really? Oh, I had the bishop check. White to move is going to be sack here, and then check, queen blocks, and then mate. White to move is going to be take this, then that, then that. I win a piece. Black to move is... I'm threatening mate, that's why. Discovered check. I was attacking the queen and rook at once. I don't see why that's useful. But it felt right. I see. I'm picking up the knight. Is it not check here? No. Black to move. I could force the king there so I could fork. Black to move. take that, and then no, 21. Okay, let's go again. Black to move is check and then blocks and mate. Black to move is checkmate. Black to move is take the rook with mate. Black to move is mate here. White to move is just check, and then I force the rook to trade off. Then I take the knight. Cool. White to move is just mate here, not on h8. White to move is that, and then this is mate. White to move is going to be check here, and then that's mate. Black to move is check here. What the fuck? Okay. Black to move. Just take the queen. That's funny. White to move is just mate. White to move, I'm in check. I can take the queen. Cool. And then I can block with the bishop. And then take the rook. Jesus. Black to move. I can just checkmate. Black to move, I could just mate. Black to move, I can just mate here. White to move, I could take that. Black to move, I could fork and then take. White to move, I can check here, and then that's mate. White to move, I can play this check, and then pick up the bishop. White to move is just check. What was the follow-up? Oh, I had a rook on the f-file with me. All I had to do is check on f8. And that leads to mate. Okay. Alright, white to move. We have check, take, and then that's mate. Black to move is check and then mate. Black to move is mate here immediately. White to move is check, rook blocks, and then mate. White to move is going to be just fork and take. White to move is mate here. White to move is check here. Then that's mate, yeah. Black to move is check here and then fork the queen and king. White to move is, I have that because then I have this and then that's mate. Black to move is going to be check and then the rook swings over with mate. Black to move is going to be check here, and then that's mate. Black to move is going to be take that. White to move is going to be check like this, and then that's mate. Black to move is going to be, let's see, check here. Really, that wasn't it. White to move. We have, fuck, man, what a quick start again. All right, black to move. Check, block, block, and then mate. Black to move. We have check, and then mate. Black to move. We have mate here. Black to move. We have this mate here, the railroad mate. We have this, and then that is mate. White to move. We have mate here. Oh, white to move. We have, I see, take, take, and then I have that, yeah. White to move. I have this immediately, mate. Black to move. I have check, king there, and then what? Push the pawn, wow. Black to move. White to move. Black to move. Swallowtail mate. Black to move. Black to move. No, I meant to take. I'm mouse slipping now. Fuck. Come on, need 25. White to move. That's mate. White to move. That's mate. Black to move. I can create a passed pawn and then promote it first. Black I could take and then take back. I win 2 pieces. I could checkmate immediately on g2. White to move. I could just fork. Black to move. I could play this check and then take that as mate. Black to move. I could play just king takes knight. White to move. I could play this fork. Black to move. I could play this fork because the pawn was pinned by my rook. Black to move. I could play take. No. This check is not useful. This doesn't do anything. I don't see the move here. I guess take that. Yeah, I fork. Okay. That's not that low of a puzzle. I'm annoyed by that. That was a higher level puzzle. Black to move. Check and then take this. White to move. Check. Here. Then that, and pick up the rook. They're giving me harder puzzles early. White to move is just take this and then pin the... It's not pin the queen to the king? And then it gives me a hanging queen puzzle. Fucking ridiculous. White to move. White to move. Make the queen move over. Attack her. I'm trying to make her move away so I can mate. That was the idea there. Take there. No. No good. This doesn't work. How does that work? Yeah. Oh, I have the fork at the end. Jesus Christ. Black to move. I want to play that so bad. Knew that wasn't it though. That's pinned. What? Don't see it. 19. I was at. Damn. Wow, babe, there's a well played emoji. That's pretty cool. So what is this one anyway then? Let me look at it. Oh, it was that probably. He could take this. And then I could mate. Yeah, that was it. Cool. Checks and captures. Checks and captures. Black to move is just checkmate here. It was take the rook in the corner. Alright. White to move is just going to be take that. White to move is just going to be checkmate here. Black to move is check and then mate. Black to move is check and then mate. White to move is going to be check here and then swing the rook over for mate. Black to move is create a passed pawn and then queen it. White to move is going to be check here is mate. Black to move is mate here. White to move is mate to come here. White to move is going to be, let's see, just take the rook. What, no? Okay. Black to move is checkmate there. Black to move is that. And then my pawn's... Oh, the other pawn's faster by 1 square. Interesting. I pushed the wrong pawn. White to move is mate here. Black to move is mate here. White to move, check and then mate. Black to move, check and then mate. White to move, skewer and take the rook. Black to move, take that, then that. Okay. Take the queen, and then I'm in check, but I could take the bishop, and then I could take the knight. So I'm winning more pieces. Black to move. I could play that, because then I have the queen. Black to move. I could run my pawn. If he queen says I take it, and I still queen mine. Cool. White to move. I have this check, and then that mate. White to move. I have check, then check, and then win the queen. White to move. I could check, then take these and mate. White to move. I can play this, and then I'm queening my pawn. White to move. I could just take the knight. And then I'm safe here. I can come here. Black to move. I could play this because the pawn was pinned to his queen, and then I can step out of check. Black to move. I could play... The queen's almost trapped. The queen is trapped, because then I have that. Yeah. Black to move. I could just take that, because then I have this fork. Cool. White to move. I have take this, then check here, then pick up that knight. White to move. I have this check in the corner, king there, and then, what move is the best? It's unclear what move is better than the rest. Like, okay, that was threatening mate with that move. That's why. This check is useful. Wow. Jesus Christ. How many moves do you want to give me? Why isn't that right? Black to move. Just fork and take. Black to move. Check. White to move. I was at 21. That was a fast run. The first 20 were pretty quick. Alright, let's see. White to move. Check and then take. White to move is just mate. Black to move is just take this, is mate. Black to move is just mate. White to move is going to be check and fork and take the rook. And then, what, revert back and take that. White to move is just going to be check here and then take it, is mate. This is just going to be pin the queen to the king and then take her. Black to move is going to be, if I check here, then I win the rook. That was good geometry. If I sack there, then I could mate here. Black to move is going to be check, and then check here, and then pick up the rook. White to move is going to be check here, then here is mate after he blocks and I take. Cool. White to move. I could just mate immediately, ignore that. White to move. I could play check, king steps over, then I check here and I smother mate. White to move. I could take the queens off, then take the bishop. Black to move. I can play, I'm in check. I could take with the bishop to leave the knight defended by my queen. White to move. I could play this check, because then he steps away and he doesn't defend the Morphe mate. White to move. Can I block with the knight? I can't. I have to run away. Oh, the queen has that square. That's the only square I had. Black to move. I could play this check, then that check, and pick up the bish. Black to move. I'm in check. I could trade off, and then take the knight, and then go stop the pawn. Yeah. Bishop promote. That's funny. Here I have this, because then I could pin the knight and then I'm winning it, yeah. White to move. Oh, it was the other check. White to move. Let's see what we have. We have attack the pin knight. Keep it pinned, and then win that. Cool. Black to move. Check there. No. Wow, what's the idea here? That. Yep. Black to move. We could play... No, it was a guess. Black to move. I can't take it. Once again, a lot of speed I felt like early on. I don't know how the fuck I get 25, man. 25 is just like... You have to average like 5 or 6 seconds a puzzle. Like you have to just... The second the position pops up, you have to pretty much see it. Because then it takes time to actually make the moves. And to load the next puzzle in. So it's like... 25 is just nasty. And they get harder, obviously. Let me jump back to Vision just for a hot second. Take a break from the puzzles. See if I can reset my score here. Take my eyes off of pieces and just a blank board. Put them on a blank board. H3, H4. I went slow and steady there. I wanted a perfect score. $40 with a miss. I like it. There is Perrier for you. Oh, I missed the first square. I was looking at chat. Sure, babe. Come over. B5, B2. $39. I felt like with that one, it kept zipping me around the whole board. Like I couldn't just click a lot of squares in one region for a second. I totally missed F2, huh? My mind totally crapped out there. Damn, missed a lot that time. $39 would have missed. Would have been 40 bomb. I want 42 on stream. I've gotten 41 on stream. I want 42. Nope, can't get it with a miss. Want 42. That's tough. 42 is fucking tough. Nicky Fizz, baby. Yo, Nick, look at this this vision training. It kind of reminds me of AimLab. It's the chess version of AimLab. It just tells you, Yeah, right? It just tells you the square, but the squares aren't labeled. You have to just know where the square is. So that's why it's a little more challenging, because it's like, from playing so much chess, I guess I subconsciously have where the squares are in my head. But you could put the labels on. See, they're there. They're kind of small, but see, like A through H, 1 through 8. But that's like cheating, in my opinion. So I take them off. And actually, if they're there, it kind of throws me off. Like, I'd rather it be blank. I don't know why. Like, in my peripheral, the actual letters and numbers actually fuck me up. But it just tells you a square, and you got to go press it. And my record's 40-4. I'm trying to get that on stream. Damn, yo. Just 40's hard. When you just instinctively know where it is and not be distracted. Yeah, exactly. Like, I know where the square is. It still takes like a fraction of a second to comprehend. So it's only 30 seconds, and my record's 44. So... my record's 44 across 30 seconds. Oh, no, other way around. It would be 30 seconds to do 44. So I'm only, every 0.68 seconds, it takes me to see the square pop up, comprehend where it is, and then go to it and click it. It's 68 seconds. But, like, you know, 0.5 of that is comprehending probably quickly where it is, and then the other 0.18 is actually moving and clicking. I think the move and click is so quick. But do one more and then I'm back to puzzles. Wait till I do puzzles, Nick. You're gonna think it's ridiculous. It gave me every square on the bottom row almost. H5, H8, Fuck, I can't afford to have a miss. Most of my misses are just misclicks too. Like, I just pressed the square met early before I arrived at it. Yo, 44 is so cracked. I don't know how the fuck I got 44. Look, I did it off stream too. Best I ever got on stream was 41. You want a 10-minute game, Barna? Alright, first I'm gonna do one more puzzle rush, because I feel like every time I jump back to puzzles, my vision's always on point. So, one 3-minute puzzle rush. Alright, white to move is just mate there. White to move is just check mate there. This is mate here. Okay, white to move is going to be... take that with check. Cool. White to move is going to be mate here. Black to move is just check here and pick up the rook in the corner. Okay, he takes... that's fine. Oh, it was queen check. White to move is going to be check here and pick up the knight. White to move is going to be taking the queen as a trade. Yeah, something was weird about that. That's leading to mate. Yeah. White to move is just check here and pick up the knight. White to move is check there and then pick up the queen. White to move. I can't take the knight. I can step here, though. And then take it. And then take that. Okay. White to move. Play that, attacking the queen. And then play... no. That forks. White to move. I can sack the queen. And then mate here. Yeah. Black to move. I can play this. And then this. And then that. Black to move. I could win both rooks for the queen. But could that really be it? That's not that great. Yeah, no, it didn't feel right. One more round. Quick nasty, babe. I want 25 on stream. Alright, this is just check and then mate. Black to move. This is just check and then mate. White to move is just mate immediately. White to move is check and pick up the bish. White to move is check, check, pick up the rook. White to move is check here, and then that's mate. White to move is take that with check, and then check and pick up the queen. Black to move is check here is mate. Black to move is that, and then that is mate. Black to move is, wow, look at this. Smother mate. He has no squares. That's a mate with just the bish. Check, mate. Black to move. Looks like I can go just check here. Is leading to mate. Yeah, okay. White to move. Check. Check, and then mate, yeah. Black to move. It's just, well, it's not mate there. Oh, it's that to remove the defender of the mate. Cool, then mate. White to move is going to be, is check here useful? I don't see why yet. Oh, then I could pin the queen to the king. That's why it's useful, yeah. Black to move. Whoa, check, 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 and then I win the queen, yeah. Okay. White to move. We have this check. King up. I don't know, really. Check there. Check, king up. Then I'm forking the rooks. It's just forking the rooks. Don't overthink. We have threaten that, and once it moves, I would have won the rook. Okay, cool. It couldn't move. Looks like I'm trading off the knight, then taking the bish, and then blocking the check with the queen to defend the knight. Cool. Black to move. Just immediate fork. Oh, it was take the knight first, then fork. The knight was guarding the fork. Okay. Taking the knight does nothing. Free bishop. Then trade the queens off. Cool. Black to move. Push the pawn with check. Looks right. Yeah. Because then I squeeze in here with the queen. No, what was it there? White to move. Block, that, and then I can queen my pawn. Keep his king out, keep his king out, keep his king out. Okay, and then I'm queening the pawn. Take, and my pawn. What? I had to step over with the king? Yeah, and now my king's in front, then I can queen. I can stay in front of his king. Wow. Barna, I'm sorry, bro. I'll play a 5-minute game or a 10-minute game. I need one more puzzle rush. I'm feeling jacked right now. I think I'm gonna get it. Black to move. It's just check and then take the rook. Yeah. White to move is check in the corner and then take the rook with mate. Yeah. How do I take that blue away? That's gonna bother me the rest of the time. There we go. I lost time on that though. White to move. Alright, this is just mate here. White to move is just mate. White to move is just queen the pawn. Black to move is queen my pawn. Black to move is just immediate fork. Black to move is check and then mate there. Black to move is pin and then take. White to move is check here, then that is mate. The pawn was pinned by my rook. White to move is this check is mate. Black to move is push that, attacking the queen. No. Yeah. No. What was that? White to move. Don't see it. Didn't see it. Oh, no. It was rook h8, then the queen mates on h7. Fuck. Black to move. Check here. White to move is check, and then everything blocks, and then it's mate. Mate there. White to move is just mate here. White to move is just mate here. Black to move is take the queen first. No. How could it be? It's check, and the king steps away from the queen. Yeah. Check. Why am I not queening the pawn after knight b6? Oh, I could have forked him immediately, that's why. My move wins, though. Doesn't win as fast. Stupid. That's mate. Black to move. Check and then mate. White to move. Check and then mate. White to move. That, and then pin, and then take it. Okay. White to move. Check and then queen. Okay, yeah. White to move is just check and then mate. Black to move is check and pick up the rook. And then move out of check. Does it matter which way I go? Oh, it does, because I'm losing my rook. Barna, my bad. Yo, I want to get a fucking 25 bomb, bro. I'll play a game soon. Pick up the free queen. White to move. Go queen the pawn. White to move. Queen this pawn. It's faster. Yeah. Black to move. Take this. And then queen the pawn. Black to move is just fork. And then take the rook in the corner. Black to move is just mate here. White to move is check and then mate. White to move is check and then mate. Black to move is check, king there, then that's mate, yeah. The Anastasia mate. White to move is check and pick up the bish. Black to move is... Oh, this is tricky. Push this pawn, knight takes that. It's... What? It wasn't that... I can't queen if I go that way? What? 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 White to move. Check and then pin the queen to the king. Black to move. Ah, okay. Take this and then that's discovered check and then I have an attack on the rook. Okay. Take that. Then take this. White to move. It's just check here, there, there. Yeah. White to move. Wow. Okay. White to move. What? I had another piece I could use? Oh, I just take with the pawn, it's mate. Okay. It's chess. It's regular game time. 10-minute game, Barna? Why don't you play me, bro? He plays a Sicilian defense here. I'm going to play d4. We're going to trade here. He's going to play knight f6. I'll play knight c3. He could do anything like this. He could even play this. He could even play this. He has a lot of moves. Or that is the dragon. So he's going to put the bishop here. I'm going to play bishop here. He's going to castle. I'm going to play queen d2. I have a couple of slow games with this line. You can play a6 first, then castle. I have a couple of slow games against this line, and I do well. But one of my few losses with white was actually against this. In slow chess, in 2-hour chess. I don't really lose a lot in 2-hour chess. I think out of my whole career, I only have like a couple, like maybe 3 losses. Okay, he plays h5. He should be castling. I want to try to punish him for not castling. Probably bishop c4 coming. Yeah, the line I play is my pieces always wind up on these squares. And then I castle kingside. I mean queenside, sorry. I always castle queenside in these lines. And then I wind up pushing these pawns. So, bishop d7, okay. He's playing it a little slow. I'm just going to play king b1 because that's always a safe move in these lines to get off this diagonal. I'm surprised he didn't castle yet. He should be playing e5 soon. He should be playing knight c6 soon. And he should be playing b5 soon. Those are all moves that have to come on his end if he plays the line correctly. There's b5. Okay, that's thematic. Now I could go knight d5. I could also go h4. I could also go bishop e2. King b1, always a computer move, Vince. You know it. I guess I gotta play I want to play h4 because I don't want him to play h4. Because then his pawn's kind of cramping me down here. Probably bishop e2 to prepare g4. So if takes, my bishop is defending the square. His bishop's guarding it here from d7. But it might move eventually. And I probably have a move like knight d5. Okay, queen a5. Then that's a little awkward. Normally you don't want to be blocking your a-pawn before you push it. But I don't know how to... I'm trying to figure out how to capitalize on that. I guess knight d5 is good because it undermines this knight, and that's one of the garters of g4, and I really want to get my pawns rolling. But the problem is that I offer a queen trade. I don't really want to trade queens because my king is safer, I think. But it seems like it's best. And he also might miss his queen's attacked. But definitely not at 17-15. But if he takes my knight first, I take his queen for free. Just will never happen in 10-minute chess. Maybe 1-minute chess. If he takes my queen, what do I take back with the bishop or the rook? Has to be the rook, yeah. I'm going to pre-move it. Retreats his queen back to d8. I'm really surprised by that. That's a shocker. That seems super passive. Okay, I'm going to undermine this knight. If pawn takes, his pawn structure sucks cock. Yeah, he would prove his rating if he did that. You're right. So now g4, but I still didn't play bishop e2 to prepare it. So bishop e2. Need the bishop there because his bishop's there. I have to be better here. I also have like bishop g5. Ooh, I could take that knight. But my knight is so good. But then his bishop's a little wonky there. And then I could play I could just play g4, I guess. Just play g4. If his knight takes, my bishop takes. These trades might happen. But I don't mind. I have to be doing better here. I'm going to analyze the game after, but he really fucked the opening up, I think, pretty bad. Alright, rook c8. That's a good move. I like that move. So now is it g5 or is it take on h5? g5 kind of stops my... I think take on h5. I want to break open his king side. Yeah, okay. Now, probably f4, preparing e5, eventually. Or is it bishop g4? No, then he takes my knight. Ooh, almost a blunder. He just takes that. So it's f4. This is hitting this. The rook can't... He can't castle. He just loses the h-pawn. This rook can't move. He can't castle regardless because the king side's not safe and the queen side's off limits. He moved the rook. So I should be able to just get in there and crush him. It's just finding the right way to do it. Alright, so first he moved his queen to d8 to set up for next game. And now he's finally bringing it back to c7. I don't know why he didn't go to c7 before immediately. Knight f5 always looks good. Trading is very bad. This rook can't move right now. It's tied to that pawn. This rook here looks decent. Trying to find the right way to infiltrate. Knight f5 looks good. If the bishop trades, I'm just opening up lines toward his king. Even though my pawns are wacky. Knight f5 doesn't threaten anything, though. Or maybe it's f5. But then I give myself a backward e-pawn. But then my bishop's active. This bishop's open. This bishop's not active. I guess it's f5. It kind of cramps him down. I mean, this bishop's so inactive. He can't push his e-pawn. But I do want to move this knight because I don't like that I'm babysitting it. Oh, I can move the queen. The rook will be guarding it, but I can't move the bishop. Okay, he wants to go for the trading. That's interesting. Oh my god, I'm blundering here because I can't recapture. I lose this. But I have to recapture. But I'm also on this. Hold on, it's not clear. He takes here. I move over. My only move. But he can't take this just yet because I'm on this. And he has no mate because I have my other rook. Unclear. Okay, he sees that. How'd I miss that my c2 pawn wasn't defended? Okay. Now he's threatening the bishop, by the way. But he hangs this. I guess this is good. Yeah. So the material's actually equal. But we're both attacking now, is the problem. But my bishop's better than his. I don't know about our rooks. I really like my h-pawn. I'm going to try to run it. That might be the long-term play to win, is just run this. I might have this sacrifice at some point. I'm always looking at sacks. Vince knows I'm always looking at sacks. Always looking at sacks, bro. Whoa! Did he blunder mate? Do I just have check, rook blocks, and mate? Did a 17-15 blunder mate? What am I missing? Check. Puzzle time. Puzzle time. Check. Only move. Take. Chat. Did he blunder mate? Did he blunder mate? He blundered mate in 2. At 17-15, bro. Look what he did. He thought, oh, I'll play rook g2, and I'm threatening this, even though I'm not, because the queen backward defense. But his queen can't move. Bro, he totally missed mate in 2. Wow. Wow. I'm going to wait to play it. I'm going to see if he ever sees it. I'm not making a fool of myself, and he has a resource, right? It's just check on h8. Rook has to block. And then mate. Yeah. Yo, that's what he gets for not castling. He didn't castle. And he never pushed his e-pawn. That's why he can't run to, like, e7. Like, if this pawn is here, he can run. He can run here. You like all the colors I use there? Look at this. Look at the board. That's cool, right? It's like gay pride or something. It's the gay pride board. He didn't see it yet. I'm gaining 15 for... Why am I gaining so many points for this win? Alright, I shouldn't make him suffer forever, right? It's kind of fucked up. What do you think? Just play the first check? Like, I wonder if he's sitting there like this. He's like, oh my god, please don't see the mate. Please don't see queen h8. Ah, he resigns. Nice win. You were never in trouble. I'll show the whole screen. Says, nice win. You were never in trouble. I thought I was in a little bit of trouble. I guess I'm just a gangsta, and I wasn't. Let's look at the game report. So... Thanks, Vince. Thank you. I did have 6 best moves. I did have 2 mistakes, though, and 2 inaccuracies. No blunders. I didn't blunder. But Let's see here. These are all book moves. Because I know this theory pretty well. Vince, this is my Sicilian system, bro. That I showed you. Wow, okay. B5 was a mistake by him. I'm very surprised. I'm already let's make the record straight. The computer's saying I'm +2 here. But the material's dead equal. That's how much better my opening was than his. He didn't castle yet. His queen's back on... Did he play queen back to d8 yet? No, he didn't even play the queen out yet. Oh, it wants knight e5. I kept thinking about that. I knew it was definitely a viable move. I didn't play it yet, but it wanted it. See, look, this isn't really a mistake. Oh, it is, because I go from 2 to 0.2. So why is knight e5 so good early? I guess knight e5... And if he takes, my pawn is just... It's just cutting him off for the whole game. And if he doesn't take, then this knight's the best knight in the world. So he can't take it, and if he doesn't take it, it's the best knight. So I guess that's why it's so strong. H5... What's funny is, if knight e5 isn't so good, h5 is nothing wrong with it. Like, I still have an edge. Like, it's just stopping him from playing h4. Stopping him from playing h4 himself. Queen a5 was a mistake. I should have put the knight back, attacking the queen. Okay, a little passive. I thought he would just go back to d8 anyway. Now I play knight e5, knight d5, and it's no good. Was I calling that knight e5 before? It's knight d5. Now I play knight d5, and it's no good. It's inaccurate because he could trade queens. Oh, he should have traded queens. Look at that. It wants it, the green arrow. So queen d8 setting up for next game is no good. Taking the knight is no good. I should be, and I said that before, I should be letting him take me first. I thought that might be a problem. I should have played my bishop e2 move. That was my other candidate move, preparing g4. I had the right moves. That's what I like. I like when at least when I have the right move as a candidate move, I know that I'm thinking about the right shit. So even if I pick the wrong one, like in any position, you have like 2 or 3 moves you're considering. The computer move is frequently one of the 3 moves I consider, but sometimes I pick the wrong one. But like, you know, it's better that than I never even considered the best move. Okay, now bishop e2 is best. Cool, that's what I played. Doesn't like g4 yet. It wants me to trade the knight. Here I did not consider that. I thought trading that knight was no good. It helps his bishop get a little more active. But the problem is I'm babysitting the knight, like I said before. Okay, that was best. That was an alternative, so I did play the best. He shouldn't have taken back. Still wants me to take that, but my moves are still good. The funny thing is like, for like 3 moves in a row, taking his knight was best. Like, this was best for 3 moves in a row. So what's happening is, I already mentally committed to not taking that knight. So now I'm making like the second best move, like 3 moves in a row, because I'm already gonna not do that. So the analysis says, oh, you played the suboptimal move 3 times in a row. It's like, yeah, because the best move I ruled out off the bat, so I'm never gonna recommit to it. So it's not like the best move changed each time and I couldn't find it. I just was never gonna play that knight capture. So f4, okay, queen c7, and queen a5 was best. That's funny. So now queen a5 is best because his knight's guarding it. But before he played it and put the queen back. So the computer's like, yeah, you played it too early. Now you gotta play it. And he misses it. It wants me to go knight b3 now? Retreat the knight? That's so weird. Why would it have me retreat the knight here? I guess to help defend. I mean, to keep it near my king. Don't know. But my move is still good. Cool. So we trade. Best move, obviously. So I'm actually fine here. And then when he does that, it is his best move. Oh, I played the perfect move here. King a1 was perfect. Wow, I found the perfect computer move there. King a1. Look at that. Okay. So now, like I said, his rook's hanging in the corner. Artie likes that one. I thought for like 2.5 minutes here, Artie. I was trying to play the stockfish move. King a1, bro. It's King a1 exclam. That's tough to find. Artie, I don't know if you've been in here for a bit, but I just played a gangsta game where a 1700 hung mate in 2 coming. So I'm threatening the rook in the corner with mate. And he doesn't hang that. He sees that. He's like, no problem. I'll move it over. Even though that wasn't best, he should have blocked my queen off with f6. But never play f6. He watches a lot of Ben Feingold, so he wasn't going to play that. So he goes rook g8. So what do I play here? Oh, I take the h-pawn, which is good. It wanted me to put my rook there. What? Okay, yeah. Why I put my rook there, but whatever. I take a free pawn. I had a long-term plan of, I know if I could just push this pawn, I win. That was my idea there. But anyway, so Artie, since you just joined, I think, he plays rook g2 here. After I just said his rook was hanging in the corner with mate. He plays rook g2 and undefends his back row. So he got punished for never castling and for never pushing his e-pawn. So I let the position... I obviously saw the mate right away because I do like 10,000 puzzles a day. But I let the position sit. It was a 10-minute game. I let the position sit here for how long? For like 2 full minutes. I just stared at the board and let him... I wanted to see if he would resign. Or if he would like hope I didn't find it. So then finally, after 2 minutes, I played that. And his only move is to block. Right? And then it's mate. So he just resigned here. But I was very surprised he blundered that. And what's funny is his idea with rook g2 is to pile up on the b2 pawn, try to mate me. Even though I'm backward defending it now, if I ever move its mate. So he did have a good attacking plan. He didn't realize his king wasn't safe. All he had to do was like push one of these pawns or something. But I had the advantage regardless, even throughout here. Like I always had the advantage. He never had the edge. I was winning the whole time. That's why it says I was never in trouble. Even the opening, everything was pretty accurate. A nice little Sicilian. So let me look at my percentile because I'm just surprised. Yeah, I'm in like the 90. That's rapid, right? The 99 percentile, effectively. So like a top 1 percentile player just hung a mate in 2. That's crazy, right? That's crazy. I'm really surprised by that. Alright, let's go back to some Puzzle Rush. Yeah, that was fucked up. Mate hangs mate in 2. Winning regardless, but that makes it easy for me. That's just mate. Black to move is check and then mate. White to move is just check and then mate. White to move is mate. Black to move is mate here. The bishop's guarding me. Sniper in the corner, that's mate. White to move is mate. White to move is push with check and then take the knight. White to move. I check here. Yo, the bishop's in the way. I'm not even defended. What am I doing? I just take the free bishop there. Oh, take the bishop with the bishop, yeah. White to move. This looks good. Yeah, that was pinned. Black to move. Just queen king fork immediately. Follow up. Fork his pieces. Yeah. White to move is going to be take the knight because my queen's defended by my knight. I can recapture, yeah. I could check here and then take the knight because my queen was defended by my rook. Black to move. I could play this sack because then I have this mate. Black to move. I could play... If I check... Oh, I just pinned the queen to the king immediately. Yeah. Black to move. I have this, that. That looks good. Yeah. Leading to mate. White to move. I can move the knight out of the way so I can mate. Black to move. Gotta be take that pawn. Then here. Take... What? It wasn't take that and then I can... Oh, then he queens the other pawn. Fuck. This check any useful? That check, and then take the bishop. Okay, simple enough. Black to move, check here, king there, take the queen. And then take... I could save my queen. Yeah, okay. Thought it was take the rook out of Desperado. Take that. What? And then the knight. Oh, the pawn defends the knight, so it's just take the knight immediately. Yeah. It's just take the knight immediately. Okay, that's fair. Yo, let's rip, bro. I'm with it, Artie. Hop online. You only want black. I can't believe that, bro. I'm lethal with white. I'm lethal with white. So out of the losses in my career, I think probably... I think I only have, like I said before, I think I only have like 4 or 5 losses, but probably only 1 with white. Like I really... And it was against a Sicilian Dragon. I don't lose with white, bro. Come on. What time control you want, Artie? You invite me, whatever you want. Give me whatever color, whatever time. Yeah? Alright, whatever. I'll invite you then. 5 minute. I'll go unrated. We'll go random color. But you can't listen to the chat because you're gonna know all my ideas. You're gonna stream snipe me, bro. Stream sniping. Little Queen's Gambit decline. Artie loves to bring his Dark Square Bishop out early. I like this move so much. It's so bad, though. It's not good. Supposed to play that. You could play that, too. Nice, bro. Vince, are you watching this game? Artie's gonna be pissed. Yeah, did you see what happened there? You see what he missed? I know you saw it. Obviously, if I play this, he plays that. Nah, it's useless. Yeah, that was I was losing that bishop. Yeah, for sure. That was dead. I played my stupid opening line that I said is bad, and then he just played correctly, and then he had me trapped, and he didn't take it. I was fine with losing it though. I mean, I could spot a piece and beat Artie. I could get another Perrier. I almost spit my fucking drink out. Did you just sack a piece? I don't have to take your queen. Jesus Christ, Artie. You're going crazy. I almost spit my drink all over my microphone and keyboard and monitor. You can't play the French against d4, so I try to. I played e6, d5. Oh my god, I pre-moved. You just got me, bro. You're a gangsta. I just pre-moved, because for sure you're just taking back the knight. Wow, now I gotta play. Artie, bro. You just got me. I just got with the pre-move. That's what I get for pre-moving. Need a new Perrier after that. I don't know if I can recover from that. A full queen? Wow. Artie, bro. You gotta take it home now after that. That's what I get for fucking pre-moving, bro. Let me see that again. I take your knight, I think you're just taking back. Because all I have to do here is just this. Actually, your move was a blunder, because I could do that, and then yeah, you can't take my knight because your pawn's pinned. Oh my god, I should just wait to see what you did. Wow. The old pre-move. Why am I pre-moving in a 5-minute game? This game is so bad from both of us, bro. Mess. It's a mess. Correct. I like that move. Now your pawns are really good. I gotta stop talking. Yeah. Yeah, he's not really acting up. I disagree with you, bro. I got a flag Artie right now, but he's got so much time, bro. If he had like 20 seconds, he'd be fucked. He's got so much time. Good move, Artie. Oh, I have fucking 2 legal moves. Nice, mate in 2. Oh, Artie, are you watching chat? Did you see my pre-move blunder? I'm never pre-moving again, bro. I'm never pre-moving again. I'm sick. I pre-move blundered. No need to pre-move there. No need. I just thought you were recapturing the knight. You actually blundered. Your in-between move was bad. I didn't expect you to blunder. Oh, man. Oh, I had a new way of playing this. I gotta remember it now. I think it was this. I have a new line against you in, Yeah, No, I thought you were just gonna take the knight back. The rook move was a blunder. I have queen d6, or e6, and then you can't take the knight anymore. So I just win a piece for free. So if I don't pre-move, I just play queen d6. But I just pre-moved after you take the knight. I pre-moved rook d8. Yeah. Damn, bro. Good game, though. Good game, good game. You cleaned it up well. You did clean it up well. You defended correctly at the end. Giving away your queen for both rooks was a good idea. Everything. You did clean it up well, and you made sure you checkmated in time. It's like when I spectate you play other people, you don't clean it up that well, and then you lose on time. But against me, no problem. Sack the queen. I'll queen a pawn. Don't worry about the queen. No stalemates, this and that. Find the right ideas. Checkmate, no problem. I watch you play someone. You're blundering pieces. Already puts it in gear against me. That game was a mess, though. Did you notice that my bishop was trapped in the beginning? You had a free bishop. You played g6? I could do this. The old bayonet attack. And you stopped your retreat square. That was a good move. Like, you had to play that, I think. Good bishops, Artie. Let me tell you something. These bishops, the best bishops I ever seen in my life. The best. I don't know how your pieces could be more active than that. Those are good. They are just dominating. Look at this. Look at all the squares they don't control. Nice. You did a perfect job. You like arrested your bishops and put them in jail. You pretty much spotted me pieces. Okay, let's just play. Damn, those are... I don't know what you did. You gotta brush up on your Caro-Kann because there's no way that's theory to put your bishops in jail. But now, I guess if you castle, you have the safest king in the world. Ooh, wait. Is the knight better? Chat, I'm trying to think if this or this is better if he takes there. But knowing Artie, he likes to do this kind of shit. You have the right idea. Oh, I didn't play King B1 yet. There was H5. I was waiting for H5. Is King B1 still good, do you think, Vince? Who knows, right? Yo, that's what I was gonna do! You're looking at this line, right, Vince? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think it is something like that. I had to play this first so my pawn's defended. Ah, okay, hold on. Ooh, that Perrier. Damn, look at this shit. 50 move rule. Look at this one, Vince. Check this out. I hope everyone's watching in chat. That was a good sack. Wow. No way. It doesn't work. This is a good sack. Yeah, that was the way to break in. Gotta just play quick, though. Ouch! Ooh, bro. Ooh. 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 Fuck me, bro. Ooh. Ooh, everything was coming, bro. Everything was coming. Everything was coming. Everything was coming. This Kevin push, everything. I had like 1,000 ways. Damn, that was a sick game, bro. I've never played a more close game in my life. My screen got hot. My screen's really hot from how hot that sacrifice was at the end. Alright, let me see here, bro. My computer's running hot, bro. So, I like how your king is back on its starting square. Back on E8. And your knight and your bishop. You were setting up for next game. And your rook just came from its starting square. Look at this. All these pieces are on their starting square. That's hilarious, bro. Let's analyze that already. That was super interesting. I think it had to be dead equal, right? For like ever. And then it was just time trouble, bro. I think we both just had to do nothing. I never blundered. I did have a missed win. You had only one blunder. Yo, G6 is a book move? I guess as long as you don't play Bishop F5. But Bishop F5 is good. And then that's good. And then that's good. Look at us. We're on fire in the opening. And then that's a mistake. Which is funny. Because, no, I won, bro. What are you talking about? Oh, I lost the first game. Yeah. I pre-moved. I don't want to blame it on that, but I'm going to blame it on that. I literally pre-moved and lost my queen. Yeah. Yo, this was the first move I thought was good, Artie. And it's bad. Apparently. I should take it. Why? I help your bishop get back active. I guess so. And then I have a queen h5 check later, maybe. Whatever. Anyway. Play on. So that's one of my first mistakes, okay. Good. So, Artie, you saw this threat, huh? I was just trapping your bishop. Immediately. I was going to trap your bishop. Knight f3. Okay, good. h5 is good. Now we're just playing. So it doesn't like my castle on the queen side. But I'm never castling king side. I push all the pawns away. So I bet the computer just never wanted me to castle here. It wanted me to just put my king on like f2 or g2 and just sit there. Or even g3. Just sit over here. Yeah. And I did intuitively. I felt like castling queenside was weird because these pawns could still storm. And I can't stop them because I'm pushing pawns away from my king. So I was like, castling queenside. But I'm like, what am I going to do? Just not castle? Sometimes you don't castle. Rarely, but. Doesn't like a5. I don't get that. I'm playing a5. And I had a missed win. So I could actually take this now. Let's analyze that. I could take this now. You can't, or you can take back. And why is that so good for me? I guess now I'm breaking through. You want me to start breaking through. Okay, whatever. So we play on. I don't know why that's a missed win. It's a missed win. It's calling that a missed win. It's like a win in like 80 moves after that. It's not like a win immediately. What does it? Oh, so now it's doing that thing again where it's like, nah, play pawn takes h6. And it's giving me inaccurate moves. Doesn't like a4. I liked it. Doesn't to the computer. I have +2 here. But the material is equal. Wait, did it not like knight d5? Oh, because it still wants me to take your h-pawn. So that pressure on the h-pawn, it wanted me to take that. Relieve that pressure. Forever. Doesn't like that. Oh my god, Vince, it wants the sack, bro. It wanted the bishop sack. I was going to do it there too. I just didn't like that after the sack. Oh, I guess my queen defends the pawn. I wanted to support this pawn a little bit because it was going to be kind of isolated after the trades. So the bishop move preemptively prepares it. Now I didn't want it because it's not check after the trading, but the computer still wants it. So here we both just do nothing for a bit. There's like literally there's no bad move. Like you can't make a bad move if you try to. We both just do nothing. Everything's the best, but I don't know if it's the best. It's probably just everything's equal. Then it didn't like that. What did it want instead? Oh, it wanted you to put your rook there. Okay. So when I played the sack, it was the best. Of course. So we have take, check. And you know what's funny, Artie, is if you step your king here, then I just have this immediately. Maybe you saw that, maybe you didn't. I fork you immediately. So you block with the bishop. That is best, yeah. But then I just come back somewhere, and now I'm threatening to push the h-pawn. H-pawn pushes. Bishop was trapped. You obviously saw if you come here, I fork you. But it wanted you to go there first. And then you have no move here. If you play here, then it's the fork immediately. And if you play there, then it's this combination where you have to step. You could have stepped here, bro. But I take the knight. Yeah. Didn't matter. I was taking pieces. My rook was coming down. It's just lost, yeah. Yeah. It wants me to push the e-pawn eventually. That was an interesting game. I've never played such a closed game like that. What was the position evaluation after you put your bishops in prison? Like early in the game. Like I want to know what it is like right when you played that, even though that was best. Yeah, I'm already 1.5, 1.8. Yeah, I'm already like, you know, 1 and change with equal material just because your pieces are locked up. Oh, I wanted to also see what it did to your evaluation if you castled queenside. Kingside. Okay, it's the same shit. Interesting, bro. Interesting. Barna. I know, it was embarrassing that I pre-moved. That was pretty bad. I'm gonna rip, I'm gonna do vision quick and then a few more puzzles. That was good games, Artie. That one was especially really cool. First one was just we both made a bunch of mistakes. Ridiculous. But you did finish the first one really well. Fuck. Fuck, bro. 2 misses. $39, $41 if I hit those. Let me get a 40 bomb. Fuck. Most of the time those misses are like mouse slips more so than me clicking the wrong square. Like, it's when I didn't intend to click that square. $37, okay. Oh, those 2 were my 40 bomb. Fuck. Those 2 misses. Fuck. Gotta reset that one. Getting a 40 bomb, then I'm jumping to puzzles. Unless someone wants to play in chat. I'll play anyone in chat. 37. It was 39 if I hit those. A little quicker. I gotta go a little quicker. Ah, that was 40 if I hit those. Fuck. Slowing down, bro. Oh, I got the 40. Okay. I thought that last one was the 40. I wasn't able to look at the score. But I thought I had to hit the last one, so I just went as quick as I could and I missed it. But I got the 40 regardless. Okay, let's go puzzles. Three minutes. See if I can get a 25 bomb. Black to move is going to just be take the queen. What? I had a mate, didn't I? I had the rook mate. Unbelievable. Good start. That's mate. Black to move is check and then mate. Black to move is check and then mate. Black to move is grab that, then grab this, then step here and queen the pawn. Yeah. White to move is just mate here. Black to move is going to be fork and then take the rook. Yeah. Black to move is just mate. Black to move is check and then mate. Black to move is checkmate. Black to move is check here and then mate. Yeah. Black to move. Can I sack that, and then that's mate, yeah. Black to move is just take... I knew that was wrong. I didn't see it right away. I could take that, then that. White to move. I'm pinning the rook and then taking it. Black to move. It's like this, then that, yeah. Black to move. Sack a rook for a mate. White to move. Take this, then that, then it's a smother mate. Black to move. I can just fork. Yeah. Black to move. I could take that, then I can queen, yeah. Black to move. I could take the knight with the rook, yeah, okay. Black to move. We have attack both bishops. Really? That's not right. Step away from your rook. And then I can queen the pawn. That's funny. Black to move. I'm making really good time. This threatens checkmate. Yeah. Black to move. This threatens checkmate. Is it still a mating attack? Black to move. Oh, dovetail mate. Look at that. That's really nice. Black to move. I could block with check, and then I'm queening the pawn. As long as I stay next to his king. Black to move. We have this check. Bishop takes, and then mate. Black to move. We have take this with check. And then we don't have that check. What do we have? take that and fork, and then take the rook. Cool. White to move. We have... Do I have this? I don't have that. Oh my god, I had 26? I just set the record. I just set a personal record. I've never broken 25 before. Wow. Wow. Very cool. What was this last one? Was it this check? Then the king has to take the pawn. Then this check. And it's mate. Wow, look at that. Look at that geometry. My rook's here, defended. My rook's there, my bishop's here. His king is here. And he can't go... And then none of these squares are available. Yeah. Fuck, if I would have taken 2 or 3 more seconds, I would have got that. I had like 6 seconds left. Let's go, bro! Personal record, 26. Just happened on stream. I'm hyped. Because I've done this like a trillion times. Off stream. And I've never gotten 26. That's a new record. I could have had 27 if I thought for another 2 seconds. I would have found that mate. Let me go for the 5-minute one. Because my 5-minute record is only 30. And you would think if I can get fucking 26 in 3 minutes, I can get 4 more in fucking 5. Like... I haven't done 5-minute enough times to break my record, so. Let's check and then mate. Black to move is mate. Black to move is mate. White to move, check and pick up the rook. White to move is mate here. Black to move is mate there. I have a sniper in the corner guarding me. We have... This, that. No. Just that. And then that. Yeah, okay. Black to move. We have check and then mate. White to move. We have check and then mate. White to move. We have... What do we have? That. And then the dovetail mate. White to move. Bang, bang. Cool. White to move. Check, king steps over, and then we have a fork here. Yeah. White to move. Oh, come on. This is mating, right? Yeah, that, and then this is mate, yeah. White to move. We have... Take the knight, then the queen. Cool. Black to move. We have... Check here, forking, because the pawn was pinned by my rook. Attack the queen immediately. It's kind of trapped. It's trapped. The queen's trapped. The queen's trapped. The queen's trapped. What's the follow-up? That? Every square is covered on that row. Wow. Holy shit. Okay. White to move. I don't have discoveries. Hold on. Check. And then pick up the bish. Because then my king can step here. Yeah, cool. White to move. Queen looks trapped as fuck. Trapped. 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 Double check. Swallowtail mate. White to move. The pawn was pinned, so he couldn't take my queen, but... Black to move. Am I winning the queen somehow? I could do that to force it off and then queen that pawn first. Yeah. That pawn queens and guards the other square. Check, king there. Huh? Wow, that's mate in 1. That's so hard to see. Jesus Christ. It's just mate in 1. Wow, that was weird. Mate in 2. Okay, these are weird mate in 2s though. I could take this knight, I feel like. Because then I have... I thought I had this. It doesn't look like I have it. Oh, I could take that. The queen couldn't take because then I have that. Okay. Is it check here first? So the king has no escape? And then I can mate here. Yeah. Black to move. Take with check. And then pick up the bishop. Oh, he guards the bishop. Wow. Is this mate? No, but I win the bishop finally. Oh my god, bro. How many moves? Black to move. Okay. We have... Take. Is it just take everything here? No. I had one to give. It's alright. Take this. Then that takes. Then... This takes. And then I'm in check, so I block it. Cool. White to move. White to move. Okay, that was a guess because I had no time. 27. How could that be?